one of the things that's true with Rav Kook is the more you understand it, the deeper you automatically get, right? I mean, Rav Kook, this is a very strange thing to say. His poetry is easier to access than his prose. When you read his poetry, it makes sense. It may have a deeper meaning, but on its face, it makes sense. When you read Rav Kook's prose, you have very little idea at all of what he's saying until you penetrate some of its depth. And this is after it's been edited, meaning when you look at I don't try doing this, but the Shemona Kvatzim, the 8 notebooks that were given to the Nazir, from which he wrote Orot HaKodesh, which he edited out of Orot HaKodesh, to me are completely and totally incomprehensible. You have to be a true expert in Rav Kook for them to start making sense, and it took the Nazir, 50 years approximately to create Orot HaKodesh out of it. So I'm perfectly happy learning Orot HaKodesh where it makes more sense than the notebooks were things. Partly the notebooks are Rav Kook's free thought. So all of the same idea may not be in one place, and part of what the Nazir did is put them all together and organize it, whereas you have to master the whole thing to do anything. So again, looking at the paragraph that we've been talking about, Za'zou'i hanefesh shemitsad רגשי האהבה הטבעית, the tremblings of the soul that come from the natural feelings of love, שנוטלת חלק גדול במציאות, that take a large portion of reality, במוסר ובחיים, in ethics and life, הם ראויים להתפרש על ידי הספרות, בכל הצדדים שבהם. They are fitting to be expressed through art. Safrut is literally literature, but it's all forms of art, both written, visual, oral, musical, whatever it is. In all of their sides, mוציאה el הפועל et הגנוזות, it brings to reality those things that are hidden. אבל בשמירה היותר מעלה מנטיה לצד השיכרון שיש באלה הרגשות. But with the greatest care not to lean toward the side of drunkenness that can exist in these feelings. שמהפך אותם ממטרה טבעית לטומאה מנוולת. That can take them from their natural purity to disgusting impurity. Rak anshe kodesh ראויים להיות שרי kodesh. Only holy people are fit to be holy princes. And previously we learned that human creation, I'm not talking about, like building a car, right? Artistic creation, expressions of the soul, let us say, right? Our za'zou'i nefesh are come out of the let us say the bothered soul. In modern Hebrew you say zema zazua, that this is like it's shocking, right? Like there's something that many people say that there's never been an artist that is really comfortable with himself, right? There's something that's bothering them that they have to get out, right? That should come from רגשי האהבה הטבעית, from their natural feelings of love, right? That when I'm trying to express what's inside of me, what's bothering me, it can be נוטלת חלק גדול במציאות, במוסר, ובחיים. It can take a good part of what is here in ethics and life, right? And we're trying to bring these things out. But we've also seen that one has to be very careful with these ideas, because close to them are also things that aren't so good for the world. B'shmira hayoser mu'ula, that the greatest care has to be taken more when you're talking about human creation, human artistic creation, than in other areas, to keep us away from the tiyad l'tzad hashikaron sheyesh be'elu ugashos, from the drunkenness that can exist in them and take what it should be tahor to being tameh. There is a desire on the part of people within the artistic bent, whatever artistic bent that is, to express it, right? Like, that's a natural part of who they are. And again, this expression can be in all sorts of different ways. There are sculptors, there are painters, there are poets, there are authors of novels, and all of these things, right, are expressions of their soul, right? It's interesting, by the way, if you think about it, the word umanut and the word emunah have the same letters. They are related to each other, right? In that, right, we're trying to express the ahava hativit, the natural love that is within us. However, we know about natural love. It says in Shir HaShirim, the only thing I've have in the source for the first section here is Aza kamaved ahava, which is strong like death is love, or strong, or maybe translating, love is stronger than death, right? You know, like there are people who have put their lives in danger, artists that put their lives in danger in some of the oppressive societies that existed, to give expression to the artistic desires that are within them, right? It's an extremely strong desire and feeling. It's not something that is easily put aside. Ava atuluya b'davar. What
is the aleph?
What? Hachova lasok b'ava hativit v'asakana ba. The obligation to be involved with natural love and the danger that is within that. By the way, almost everything of value, right, has something balancing of it that can take it the other way, right? I mean, this is one of the natural things. You know, like, if you want to do good for the world, you have to acquire a certain amount of influence, right? But there are people that acquire the influence just because they like the influence of power. Or there are people that sometimes once they didn't acquire it for that reason, but once they did acquire it, they fell in love with it, right? The greatest of politicians are people that never fell in love with the power that they had, right? The most disgusting ones are the ones that completely and totally fell in love with the power that they had, right? Ahava tluya b'davar, love that is dependent upon something. The statement in Pirkei Avos, Kol ahava shehi tluya b'davar, any love that is dependent upon something, betel hadavar, betel ahava, whenever that thing is gone, the love is gone. V'she'ena tluya b'davar eno betela la'olam. And if it's not dependent upon anything, it's not batal forever. Now, the expression ahava she'ena tluya b'davar, love that's not dependent upon anything, is a little bit difficult to understand, or more than a little bit, because there are almost always things that are causing the love, right? There can be different types of cause, but they're all things. The Rambam, in his Perush Mishnayos, adds a word to this. He read his statement of the Mishnah reads as follows: Kol avashi taliya b'davar batel. Any love that's dependent upon something, it will in the end be void. V'she'ena taliya b'davar, and any love that's not dependent on something, batel, it also is voided. Right? But as soon as you say that, right?
So at some point in time, all love is going to be voided.
All right, that seems to be what the Rambam's saying. Or the Rambam could be saying that all love, in fact, is dependent upon something. The Rambam explains this, and he says...
Or he's explaining that one should not get married out of love, rather than
let's see.
commitment.
Elu hasibot gashmiot. There are physical causes of love. Yivatlu v'yasuru. Once the physical thing is gone, he will turn away from it. V'yitchayev sur hamitchadesh b'sur sibato. When the cause is gone, right, so too the love will be gone. Meaning any love that is dependent upon a physical thing, right? Nothing physically exists forever. It may exist for a very long time, but it doesn't exist forever, right? And so eventually, as that temporary thing is changed, right, then the love for it will be intrinsically no longer there. We see that true love, true eternal love, is always connected to love of God. How is this? Because every good attribute, right, in its ideal form is found in God. All right? So when we appreciate in someone or something, right, these ideals that have true ethical value, right, that is something that is a reflection of the divine. So the love of those attributes that are found in this person are an expression of the love of divine. Right? It's not so simple a concept. The truth is that this love of the Creator, right, is from the spark that is within us that comes from the Creator. Things are attracted to themselves, right? Likes attract. You know, there are all sorts of physics experiments that you can do to show this. Because the Nefesh Yisrael is created by God, right? When it sees other godly things, if it hasn't been perverted, this is what Rav Kook talked about, making sure that you're not perverting your neshama, right? It will be attracted to those things. The true love, right, will lead to true happiness. All right? Meaning, when one is concerned only with those things that are divine in nature in one way or another, a person will be truly happy. Rav Kook says in Orot HaKodesh, Yesod ha'osher hu, the foundations of happiness are ahavat emet b'seichel.
Happiness?
Osher.
That's with an ayin. At least it's here it says ayin.
Well, that's a typo.
No.
Ahavat emet b'seichel. Love of truth is in the mind, in the intellect. Ahavat yosher, the love of straightness, fairness, בחיים, is in life. Ahavat yofi, love of beauty, רגש, is in the feeling. Ahavat tov, love of good, במעשה, is in one's deeds. Right? To be truly happy, one has to be complete. Right? A person that feels that they're missing something, right?
Oh.
Well, doesn't mean yet. No sign of yet. It just means that there may be a sign.
Maybe, yeah.
Waiting for the Houthis to come. Yeah.
We may have it Adam.
Mm-hmm.
So someone that's missing something in their life is never going to be truly happy, right? If something's missing, you feel that there's something missing, right? In at least all the major areas of your life, you have to feel that there's a completeness, right? So that a person will be truly happy and content. Ahavat emet b'seichel. What is it? The love of truth is in the mind. A person that loves, true love, he tries to acquire with his mind, with his intellect, that which is good, and removes himself from mistakes and falsehood and lies, right? Because that isn't truth, right? It's not real. It's an unreality, right? When you perceive the world in a incorrect way, right? You're never going to get anything real done or anything of value, right? It's just, there's going to be a lacking there. Ahavat yosher b'chayim, the love of straightness, justness, righteousness, correctness is in life. As it says in Koheles, Asher asa Elokim et Adam yashar, God made man to be straight. V'mebakshu cheshbonot rabim. But people often make so many cheshbonos about themselves, right? Sometimes people ask me a shaila about whether a business practice is mutter or not, right? And I sometimes look at and I say, do you think that this is fair? And they start giving me all these cheshbonos, right? Well, if you look at it this way, or this way, or this way, or this way, right? What does it mean when you have to make 10 calculations to justify something?
It's not yasher.
It's not yasher, right? You know, like, that's what it means. Hem bikshu cheshbonot rabim. They're looking for, right? This is having 100 ways to be b'tahir asheretz. There are 100 ways to say bugs are kosher, right? I can show you that it really is kosher. It's fine. But if you look at it truthfully, you look in the Torah, what does it say?
Not kosher.
Not kosher. No, it's not kosher. That's all there is to it. You know, like Ahava tayofi b'regesh. The love of beautiful is in the feeling. Beauty has many levels. And we view ugliness as a lack, right? It is important.
Now we're in.